Happy Mother's Day from me and
me.
We wanted to give you a special Mother's Day present, and the present is going to go on and on, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're ready.
And we want to thank for this. I'm going to just fix that a little bit because there's not enough of Valerie. Auntie Val.
There's plenty of Valerie.
Grandma. As you know, we are very busy at work, but for the longest time, we've wanted to be able to tell you all about your family, the stories, and it really got solidified this Christmas when Marky gave me this book, which is probably backward, but it says A Grandmother's Journal, and he said, I want to know what it was like for you. I want to know what it was, and I want to know you better. And so we figured maybe you'd want to know us better, right?
Yeah, the more we talked about it with each other, we found out it was really important to us too. Awful lot of things are disappearing. They'll never get saved if we're not willing to save them.
Yeah.
So here we are.
Here we
Lucky
are.
You.
Yeah. We tried to do it with our parents, but we waited too long. And then, too late. But we're digging into Ancestry right now in Ancestry.com. If you've got an Ancestry account and you want to kind of connect trees or stuff like that, let me know. We're very busy collecting articles and stuff, and the stuff we found is amazing. But we're not going there today. Today we're talking about mothers.
Today we are talking about mothers.
And
Would you
Mother's
like to
Day.
see our mother?
This is our mother. Wasn't she cute?
That was before she was our mother.
See the resemblance?
Closer. There you go.
And she was not only beautiful, she was funny, smart. You wouldn't know it. She had hidden smartness.
Yeah, she hit it well with her dance routines and everything else that she did.
And she has a bunch of which we're going to share. We didn't have time to organize them today. But over the time we do the videos, which you will get, I don't know, whenever we do them, once a week, whatever, that you're going to learn more. But Mom had some mom-isms. So this is wisdom from your grandmother, great-grandmother, great-great-grandmother, and however far back this goes for whoever may watch this in the future. If you want to know where you can find these, we're going to try to send you links. They will be on YouTube under the playlist. It's on my YouTube account under the playlist, A Legacy of Love and Laughter. Can you think of a momism?
Oh, I could probably think of a million momisms. We were talking about this just the other day when we were talking about what would you like for dinner? Ooh, we'd really love potato pancakes. And Mom would always say, you peel them and grate them, I'll make the potato pancakes. Which usually Dad ended up making anyway.
No,
So
we peeled them and grated.
Yeah, we peeled it and grated them. I mean, that was a real big thing with us. If you wanted the pancakes bad enough, you peeled them and grated them and had the best potato pancakes ever.
Ever. And, that was it. We wanted them bad enough. But, we were talking about my mom and, what did she make best and, what do we like best? And we basically came up to the consensus that she was a good cook.
Yeah.
Just about everything she made was good if you already liked it,
She always wanted to try something new and flashy, like grilled grapefruit. When
Yeah.
she had company, that was the appetizer, grilled grapefruit, and that was a big deal. She liked lettuce with ketchup on it too, or ketchup
That
and
was
mayonnaise.
French dressing.
Ketchup and mayonnaise.
French or Russian, I forgot.
Russian.
You mix up
whatever.
mayonnaise and ketchup. It was dressing, don't laugh. But if there was some kind of crazy thing, when we were kids, she got this bag of little round discs, and when you fried them, they puffed up kind of like corn chippy things, and they were okay.
A little bland.
The colors were hilarious, but with Grammy, if she thought it was good, it was good. I would say that one of the mom-isms that she had all these sayings, one of them was, pride goeth before a fall. I learned that's true. I learned that's very true. I've had a few falls right on my pride, What about,
Absolutely.
what about what else can you think of?
What do you want me to do? Step in front of a truck?
Yeah.
Whenever we were accusing or questioning something and she wasn't right, to get out of it,
Whatever
she'd say,
you do, don't make her wrong.
No, you don't. What do you want me to do? Step in front of a truck?
No, throw myself.
Throw myself
under a truck.
That's what it was.
That was one of her momisms. She would also say if it was taking too long to do something, she'd say, "I could have built a Queen Mary."
And she probably could have too.
That is very funny. So yeah, she was funny, and as for the kind of mom she was, I want to tell you one thing. They were not perfect parents. This is what you need to know, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Parents are people.
And we love them to death.
Yeah. And if you think about it, today we were probably a little teeny weeny bit more prepared for parenthood than you guys were, or the future goes. We had a little bit more babysitting that we did, and kind of things that we did. Although I do remember when Nick and Frank one time took a babysitting course to know how to handle it.
Oh,
Well,
wow.
you have to know how to handle it, you know. But anyway, it's important that you know that parents are people and they make mistakes. And it's really easy to, well, I don't know about your kids. Maybe you didn't make as many mistakes as I did.
Oh, heavens, no. Not me. No mistakes here.
I know, you can tell me I made a lot of mistakes. But you see, a mistake is only a mistake. It's not anything really wrong unless you don't learn from it. So I'm hoping I learned from my mistakes. And I think it's important that you guys know, first of all, how much I wanted you. How much I wanted to be a mom. That was like a dream of mine.
I was not interested in being a mom, so boy, did I get lucky when I had you guys.
Yeah, she did.
I did. I was really lucky. You hardly ever got sick. You hardly ever got hurt. There were other things that weren't so great, but you were really great kids and an easy family to raise.
My kids are great kids too. Maybe with a little teeny bit more challenge here and there, but then
boys.
They're boys.
And then Mimi.
And then Mimi, who is tougher.
Yeah, but she's special.
She's special, all right. And that's a really important thing to know about moms, is that to a mom, you're all special. You know, I know that you may have felt, because I felt this way, you may have felt that, mom liked you best, but what you learn, which my children, now that you're parents, and you know already that there's always enough love to go around, even if you don't feel it, that the love is there. And you could have 20 kids and still have plenty of love to go around. So if you ever felt, that you weren't loved, or that you weren't loved enough or anything like that, let me tell you, I might not have loved you perfectly, but I couldn't have loved you more.
I'm 100% behind that. That's the truth. And even the things that weren't so great turned out what we have on our list of things we remember about our kids. So I can tell you, with 3 perfect girls, I was very, very lucky. But each one of them had one little thing. You got to say something, that you remember, a little memory. With all the memories there are, it's very hard to pick. But I can remember with Yvonne, she's the oldest, so of course she's the toughest, the smartest, and she was always in charge of everything. She made sure she was always in charge of everything. Suzette, I remember watching her out in the pasture with the horses and playing with Happy, and it was wonderful. And I saw her attempting a jump, and the horse looked a little strange, and there's the horse with her mittens on his ears. I said to her, "Why did you do that?" She said his ears were getting cold, so I put mittens on his ears. I mean, what could be cuter than that? Anything? And then Kimberly, when she was really kind of little, we had company, and we were sitting at the kitchen table, and in the bedroom, which was right next to the kitchen, was a sweet smell coming out of the bedroom. I'm really sweet. Open the door, and there is baby powder all over baby, all over the furniture, all over the floor, and one sad-looking little girl sitting on the floor looking at me like, can I come out? Everything like that. You know, it's really funny, and it's really sweet, and it's really wonderful. We all lived through it. The best things, you know, you always remember all those sweet little things.
Yeah, so you that are our grandchildren get, you know, you got to get these little stories, and you're going to get more of them. Now, a couple of things that I just remember particular. I got a million, as you said. It's hard to pick one, but we got other things to get to today, and so do you, and we don't want to bore you right off. But one of the things, Sean is, number one, he's very clever and determined and funny, but we'll do funny another day because he can make my cheeks and my ribs hurt. But when he was in what do they call that, preschool?
Yeah,
He was in preschool at St. Stephen's, and I got a call from his teacher. He came home with a pocket full of nails. And this is preschool, hello. And I said, what do you know, the teacher called and she said, Sean has got some nails. And he took them from class. They were doing some little hammering, which scares the daylights out of me. I don't think they'd let kids do that in school anymore, but back in those days. And she said, he put them in his pocket. And I said, what are you doing with those nails? And he said, my father needs them.
See, Sean was a firstborn. Yvonne was a firstborn.
Yeah.
Clever children. clever.
Now, Nick and Frank, it's funny because you guys they're so much alike in so many ways, yet in their essence, they're very different.
Oh, yeah.
But one of the little tales that you may not remember, and this is interesting for you kids of twins, is that your grandfather and I went on a cruise once, and the twins were about 2.5, maybe 3. And I always used to put little shirts on them because you guys were so identical. And there's a way I could tell you apart, but I'm not going to say that here. But anyway, you always had N and F on your clothes so that people would know who was who. So we dropped you off at Grammy, Muriel, and Grandpa Henry's while we went off on our cruise. And when Grandpa walked out of the room, and the two of you guys, and Sean, he probably instigated it because that kid, you know. Anyway, you guys took your shirts off, and Grandpa came back, and he didn't know which one was which. And he said, okay, who's Frankie? And who's Nikki? And both of you said, I'm Nikki. So for the rest of the 3 days we were gone, they were never quite sure who was who. And I think that's probably the fun part about being twins. And then Mimi, God bless her, she's another little piece of work. And one of the things she did is I came home one day, and I'd say she was maybe 3, maybe 4, no, 3. It had to be 3. If she was older, she should have gotten really punished. But I came home, and she had written on the wall in lipstick and chapstick, I love you. Now, when a kid writes, I love you, on a wall, screws up the paint, and any of you guys that have painted know you cannot just paint over that. You gotta, I don't even know if we ever got that out. I know we repainted over it with an enamel, but you guys, we had so many adventures, and I think if there's anything I want to make sure you get and that you know is just how much I enjoyed being your mom, and I hope I will enjoy being your mom for decades to come. You know,
I think we did a good job with all of the grandchildren, with the grandchildren's grandchildren, and all this other stuff. But raising your own kids, I had 3, she had 4, one ahead of me, of course.
Same amount of
very
pregnancies.
special. It's more special when you think back at it. We were lucky. Boy, were we lucky to have the kids we had. With all the problems that are out there nowadays, we were really lucky. I know I loved mine, boy. I love them more every year.
I love yours too.
I love yours too.
I love yours too, even though they didn't want babysit for mine. They always go busy that night, you know.
But Mimi could always convince me to babysit for her. When you needed a babysit for Mimi,
true.
I took Mimi.
And I mean, how can you blame the other kids too much? Because one time there was a fight with the kids while they were babysitting over some little, we used to call them bye-bye cars. They were little Matchbox cars. And the twins and Sean got into something about them, and then they disappeared. Whoever was babysitting them was going to chase them. And I know one of you guys, I think it was Sean, climbed up a tree, and I don't know where the other guys went, but y'all had fun together. And you know, that's really, for me, that's kind of sad that we all live so far apart now and we don't get together. So I do invite you to think of friending your cousins on Facebook, so maybe from time to time you could check in. I know Nick's family does not do Facebook anymore. Sean does a little, and Frank does a little. Frank's always got interesting stuff on his web page, on his Facebook, so that's a cool thing. So I think that is probably, was there anything else you want to make sure we covered today?
Oh gosh, there's years worth of stuff we have to cover. But
yeah, you'll get it all.
I know we can't do it all at one time. So.
No. But I wanted to revisit that piece about, the older one is always, like kind of like getting the other ones into stuff.
The boss.
I think that skipped a generation.
What do you mean?
I think that I kind of like, I kind of like got her into stuff. Like I was the one that
I never
got
get
it.
I never get it.
Well, she gets it all right. I wanted to, well, first of all, I did belly dancing, and then I got her into it, and then I decided that I wanted to get into weaving because I had this vision. I had a tapestry hanging on my wall, and it was very beautiful with a princess being whisked away by a prince on a white charger, and with the little, what do you call those little buildings like that, with the little tops, the fancy little tops like the Colt factory.
Arabian Nights kind of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. And so I said, I'm gonna make something like that one day. So I went and took a weaving class, and she came with me because I dragged her with me, and she came along with me, and a year later, 2 years later, she's got a big weaving loom, and she's got a knitting shop, and she's got all kinds of stuff, and I was not into that anymore. Matter of fact, though, she's my sister. She's my older sister. I love her. I put her
A little older.
I put her on a pedestal, and I would do anything for her. Believe me when I tell you, I would do anything for her. And I always wanted to impress her and make sure that, she saw me as being special. So if she was knitting, well, I was like, I'm going to be knitting. So I would go to her shop, and I'd get some yarn, and I'd get the needles, and I'd get all the little thingamabobbies and doohickeys that you needed. And
hours of lessons.
And yeah, which I did not knit well. I made what I called it was the relationship death sweater, which was a Portuguese fisherman sweater. And I made a couple of them when I was dating different guys, and finished that sweater and never saw them again. It was a kiss of death sweater. And I made me one because it's a really attractive sweater. And it got in the wash, and it came out so it could fit a teddy bear. And then my big ending with that was when I went I was going to, where were we going? Were we going to
Trip.
South Dakota
Long
or
trip.
the Grand Canyon? We were going on a long trip
In the motorhome.
in the motorhome. So I said, oh, perfect way to finish this sweater, because I'd gone in and I'd started this color, little darker shell, and I'd started knitting it. And I got about that far, and I went and put it in the closet where it stayed for a number of years. So I said, I'm going to finish that sweater on this trip. And I took it out, and we're riding along in the motorhome, and took it out, and I started to knit. And then I said to her, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't like this. So here, take it. Finish if you want. Give it to somebody else to finish. Throw it away. But whatever you do, don't sell me any more yarn.
That is the truth. That was a good story. Mom never really spent any time knitting. She would have this thing where she decided she needed a hobby. So I'm the first one that heard about it. And I decided maybe needlepoint will be her cup of tea. She didn't think at first that was a good idea. But after about 15 minutes of giving it a whirl, she decided that was her thing. And for about 4 years, she needlepointed constantly. She gave it up like, this is it, it's the plague. I am not needlepointing anymore. So I wonder where she gets that from. I'm still knitting, I'm still needlepointing. Mom's long gone, but she gave that up. When she gave it up, everything went. She made me give away everything she owned.
I will say we did get craftiness from her, general craftiness, because ever since we were little kids, do you remember the thing that she went through with the, you'd buy a piece of material, and then you would pull threads off. So you had like a little half inch of fringe all around the edge, and then she would, what did you call that, how they did that? She stamped them?
Yes,
remember?
she stamped them,
but she
yeah.
painted them. It was paint. It wasn't like today's stamping. It was
I
like
don't really
painted
remember.
little dogwood things and everything. So she was always doing something crafty, and she made us do dance in school, and then she did the costumes, of course, and
she liked something fast. It had to be something that she could finish fast. She'd get obsessed with it. She'd do it. She'd do it to death. She wouldn't stretch anything out. And then the next thing you know, it was like, here, you do it. I don't want to do it anymore. So we know where that came from.
Yeah, and I think Mimi got a thing of that. She had these, I forgot what they were, some kind of dots. You know that, Mimi. She had dots. She went on a dot thing for a while.
I got
and
one
you know
hanging
what?
in my house.
Just like, well, after all, Muriel is Mimi's name. Grammy is her namesake. So why wouldn't that be the case?
That's the truth.
Well, I hope you enjoyed those little stories. And we got a million of them.
We got a million.
And we hope that you will look forward to getting them. You'll probably get a YouTube link we'll send it either in an email or a text. And you can go onto YouTube, and you can find them there, or you can type, put the link into your YouTube search bar and come up. So you can get this one, which you're watching, so you must have found a way to watch it. Just push the link on your phone or whatever. And we did a first one.
Yeah.
And then we did not a Mother's Day, we did a May Day one.
May Day.
So we got lots of stuff already and lots more to come. So I hope you enjoy it very much. And Happy Mother's Day.
From all of us.
From all of us. I know she's here. Bye-bye. Love you.